For most of their lives, Abby and Brittany Hensel were known as the smiling conjoined twins who defied every medical expectation. They graduated college, became teachers, and inspired millions around the world. But in 2025, something changed, and it caught everyone off guard. Rumors began spreading online, old interviews resurfaced, and new details quietly came to light. Fans started asking the same uneasy question: what really happened to Abby and Brittany? The truth isn't what most people think, and once you hear it, you may never look at their story the same way again. So join us in this video as we reveal the details of what truly happened to the conjoined twins, that a life the world never truly saw. Imagine living your entire life attached to someone else, not just as a close sibling, but physically joined at the hip. That has been the reality for Abby and Brittany Hensel, the conjoined twins who have fascinated the world since their birth in 1990. For years, the public saw smiling faces, inspiring interviews, and a story of triumph. But in 2025, their father stepped forward with revelations that painted a far more complicated picture of their lives, one the media rarely showed. According to him, the struggles Abby and Brittany faced behind closed doors are much deeper than most people ever realized. Living with two brains controlling one body is something few can truly understand. From the very beginning, even the simplest actions, walking, eating, or turning, required perfect coordination. And while they overcame challenges that would break most people, their father revealed that what they are facing now is unlike anything before. He didn't share every detail, but he made one thing painfully clear: new medical problems are threatening their shared future, and the situation is serious. For the first time ever, doctors have raised the possibility of separation, an option that was once completely off the table. The weight of that decision is unimaginable. Abby and Brittany have never known life apart. Separation isn't just medically dangerous, it's emotionally devastating. Their entire family is struggling with the reality, knowing there are no easy answers. Health issues have followed the twins since infancy. Over the years, they've undergone multiple surgeries to correct problems with their spine and chest, procedures necessary just to breathe and move comfortably. Even then, the health scares never truly stopped. Now, in their early 30s, those complications are worsening, forcing difficult conversations no one ever wanted to have. From day one, Abby and Brittany lived under constant public attention. Cameras, interviews, and documentaries followed them everywhere. While fame brought admiration, it also came at a cost. Their father admitted that behind the scenes, there's always been a quiet struggle to feel normal. Imagine never going out without being stared at, whispered about, or treated like a spectacle instead of a person. That emotional pressure has taken a toll over the years. Though they share one body, Abby and Brittany are very different people. Abby is more serious and practical, while Brittany is lighter and more spontaneous. Their father revealed that these differences often made even small decisions stressful, turning everyday choices into emotional battles. And now, as their future hangs in the balance, those differences and the bond they share matter more than ever. But where did the decision to not separate the twins Abby and Brittany come from? Stay tuned to find out. A choice that defined their lives. The decision to keep Abby and Brittany Hensel conjoined was one their parents, Patty and Mike, knew would shape the twins' entire lives. When Abby and Brittany were born, doctors immediately presented the couple with an option: surgery to attempt separation. While such a procedure might have offered the chance for independent lives, it came with enormous risks. Medical professionals were clear that the odds were grim, warning that both twins might not survive the operation. It was a decision no parent could take lightly. Mike Hensel later reflected on the choice in a 2001 interview with Time magazine, saying, "How could you pick between the two?" The question captured the moral and emotional weight of the moment. Separating the twins would mean choosing a future for each of them without certainty about their survival. And the Hensels knew that even the smallest chance of losing one twin was unacceptable. After long discussions and careful consideration, they made the courageous choice to forego surgery. Patty and Mike's decision meant that Abby and Brittany would grow up conjoined, a reality that has defined their extraordinary lives. It wasn't a choice made lightly, but one rooted in love, caution, and a deep respect for the lives of both daughters. Knowing that life as conjoined twins would present unique challenges, the parents focused on raising them in a supportive environment where they could learn to cooperate, grow, and develop their individuality despite their physical connection. Since they have never known anything different, Abby and Brittany adapted remarkably. From the very beginning, they learned to synchronize their movements, communicate silently, and negotiate daily tasks together. Every step, every gesture, and every decision required coordination, a skill they honed over decades. This cooperation became second nature, forming the foundation of their unique bond. Their parents' choice, made in that critical moment shortly after birth, ultimately allowed the twins to live full, rich lives as themselves, showing the world what it truly means to thrive despite overwhelming challenges. Now we have known what the twins are currently facing. Let us go back to the very beginning of how they were placed in the public eye. How did Abby and Brittany come to be known? Keep watching to find out. Growing up in the public eye, Abby and Brittany Hensel were born in Carver County, Minnesota, to parents who lived very grounded, hard-working lives. Their mother, Patty, was a registered nurse, and their father, Mike Hensel, worked as a carpenter and landscaper. Alongside Abby and Brittany, the family also included a younger brother and sister, and together they were raised in the quiet town of New Germany, Minnesota. From the outside, their upbringing looked as normal as it could be: school, family routines, and small-town life, despite their extraordinary condition. They attended Maya Lutheran High School in Maya, Minnesota, where they were known not just as conjoined twins, but as students trying to fit in like everyone else. Later, they went on to Bethel University in St. Paul, where they graduated in 2012, a milestone that many once thought would be impossible for them to reach. Yet, long before college, Abby and Brittany were already known to the world. Their first major national exposure came in April 1996 when they appeared twice on The Oprah Winfrey Show. That same month, Life magazine featured them on its cover under the powerful caption, "One Body, Two Souls." The article gave readers an intimate look into their daily routines in a piece titled "The Hensels' Summer." The public response was overwhelming, and Life followed up with another story 2 years later in September 1998, continuing to document their lives. As they grew older, the cameras never really left. In 2002, Abby and Brittany appeared in Joined for Life, a television documentary produced by Advanced Medical Productions and aired on the Discovery Health Channel. A follow-up documentary, Joined at Birth, aired in 2003, offering more insight into their medical reality and personal growth. That same year, Time magazine and Life revisited their story, updating viewers on their lives at age 11. Major networks continued their coverage. ABC aired its own documentary titled Joined for Life, and in 2005, a UK television special featured the twins as part of the series Extraordinary People. In 2006, another advanced medical documentary, Joined for Life, Abby and Brittany turned 16, focused on their teenage years, school life, friendships, social challenges, and even learning to drive. Their journey reached a new level of exposure in 2012 when they starred in the TLC reality series Abby and Brittany, which aired in the United States from August to October. The show followed them as they finished college and began working part-time as teachers. The series later aired in the UK on the BBC in 2013. By then, Abby and Brittany weren't just medical wonders. They were public figures whose entire lives had unfolded in front of the world. So how are the twins Abby and Brittany facing adulthood? Stay tuned to find out. Defying the odds and claiming their own identity, dicephalic paraplegic twins almost never survive into adulthood. Most doctors consider long-term survival extremely rare. Yet Abby and Brittany Hensel did exactly that, defying expectations year after year. Not only did they survive, but they went on to graduate from high school in 2008, proving early on that their future would not be defined by medical predictions. Determined to build meaningful lives, they enrolled at Bethel University in Arden Hills, Minnesota, where they chose to major in education. Originally, the twins considered pursuing different concentrations within their major, reflecting their individual interests and personalities. But the extra workload made that impossible, forcing them to compromise in a way most students never have to consider. Even so, they persevered, and in 2012, Abby and Brittany each earned a Bachelor of Arts degree, another milestone few believed they would reach. Despite sharing one body, the twins have always made deliberate efforts to maintain their individuality. Some of their clothes are custom-altered by a seamstress to include 2 separate necklines, a small but meaningful detail that helps visually express that they are 2 distinct people. When it comes to eating, they usually have separate meals, though they sometimes share one for convenience. Everyday tasks require an almost unspoken understanding between them. When responding to emails, Abby and Brittany type together, often anticipating each other's thoughts and emotions with very little verbal communication. Over time, they've developed their own natural system of expression. When they agree on something, they refer to themselves as I. When their opinions differ, they use their individual names instead. It's a subtle detail, but one that highlights just how deeply connected, and yet separate, they truly are. What they don't enjoy is unwanted attention. The twins have openly said they dislike being stared at or photographed by strangers while simply trying to live their private lives. In a 2006 Discovery Channel interview, when they were just 16, Abby and Brittany shared very human hopes. They wanted to date, get married, and have children someday. They explained that by opening up about their lives, they hoped people would better understand them and allow them the chance to live as normally as possible. In 2013, another major chapter began when Abby and Brittany became teachers. Standing in front of a classroom, guiding students, and shaping young minds, they once again showed the world that their lives were about far more than survival. They were about purpose. But how do twins function with just one body? Let's find out inside one body. The truth about how Abby and Brittany function. Abby and Brittany Hensel have never been ones to hide who they are. While many people assume the twins keep personal details private, the truth is quite the opposite. Over the years, they've willingly shared parts of their lives with the public, from careers to relationships, including Abby marrying her husband, Josh Bowling, in 2021. More recently, they chose to educate the world even further by explaining how their bodies actually work. In a clip shared on the twins' TikTok account on December 30th, 2024, molecular biologist Hashim Olgaili broke down their anatomy in clear, simple terms. He explained that Abby and Brittany's physical makeup is a rare mix of shared and separate systems. The twins have 2 heads, 2 brains, 2 spinal cords, and 2 hearts, all connected through a shared circulatory system. While they share blood flow, their brains and spinal cords function independently, which allows each twin to fully control her own side of the body. Abby, who is on the right, controls the right arm and leg, while Brittany manages the left. Even with this division, their movements appear almost effortless. Everyday tasks like typing, holding objects, or driving require constant cooperation and silent communication, something they've mastered over a lifetime together. This teamwork was clearly shown in their TLC series Abby and Brittany. Viewers watched the twins do things most people never imagined possible, including driving a car. In a 2012 episode, Abby explained that they each earned their own driver's license by taking and passing the test separately. When they drive, Abby handles the gas and brakes, while both twins steer together, a perfect example of trust and coordination. The TikTok video also revealed more about their internal organs. Abby and Brittany have 4 lungs, 2 partially fused, 2 stomachs, 2 gallbladders, and 3 kidneys. They share 1 liver, 1 small intestine, 1 large intestine, 1 pelvis, 1 bladder, and 1 set of reproductive organs. Because they each have their own stomach, they digest food separately and even experience pain independently. Abby once explained that if Brittany's stomach hurts, she can't feel it at all. Brittany added that she can only feel pain on her own side, just as Abby can only feel hers. These small details highlight just how separate their experiences can be, even while sharing one body. Between their reality show, teaching careers, and personal milestones, Abby and Brittany continue to show the world that limitations don't define them. As the video's narrator concluded, their lives stand as proof of extraordinary resilience, deep cooperation, and the incredible adaptability of the human spirit. What secret did the twins keep for a while before revealing? Stay tuned to learn more. The marriage no one saw coming for years, Abby Hensel lived a life that most people assumed was completely public. After all, she and her conjoined twin sister Brittany had grown up in front of cameras, interviews, and documentaries. But in a surprising turn, Abby managed to keep one of the biggest milestones of her life completely private. Abby Hensel has been married since 2021, and the world didn't find out until 3 years later. In November 2021, Abby quietly married Josh Bowling, choosing to step away from the spotlight rather than share the moment publicly. While many assumed every major event in the twins' lives would be documented, Abby and Brittany had intentionally retreated from public attention. Since the end of their TLC show, they had been living largely out of view, focusing on work, family, and building a sense of normalcy away from constant scrutiny. The twins first captured national attention back in 1996 with their appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, where viewers were introduced to their unique bond and medical reality. Years later, in 2012, TLC aired Abby and Brittany, a reality series that followed them as they graduated with education degrees, traveled through Europe, and began their teaching careers. After the show ended, the cameras stopped rolling, but life continued. Public interest surged again in March 2024 when Today broke the news of Abby's marriage, citing public records that confirmed Abby and Josh Bowling had been legally married since 2021. The revelation shocked many fans who believed the twins shared every major update with the public. Suddenly, Abby's private decision became a global talking point. Josh Bowling lives with Abby and Brittany in Minnesota, the same state where the twins were born and raised. The family setup reflects how carefully they've chosen stability over spectacle. While Abby and Brittany continued working as teachers, Josh built his own career as a registered nurse after serving as a U.S. Army veteran. His background in healthcare brought an added layer of understanding into a relationship unlike any other. Abby and Brittany are dicephalous conjoined twins, meaning they have two heads but share one torso and several organs below the waist. Because of this, Abby's marriage naturally raised questions, but the twins made it clear through their actions that their personal lives don't exist for public approval. Instead, they chose privacy, control, and boundaries. The quiet nature of Abby's wedding wasn't secrecy, it was intention. After decades of living as public figures, this chapter belonged to them alone. And in many ways, that choice says more about Abby and Brittany's strength than any interview ever could. But what do we really know about Abby's husband, Josh? Keep watching to find out. Who is Josh Bowling? The man behind Abby's private life. Josh Bowling's life story is one shaped by service, loss, and a deep commitment to caring for others. Born in Tennessee, Bowling went on to become a decorated U.S. Army veteran, serving as a healthcare specialist, more commonly known as a combat medic. During his military career, he was deployed with the 1st Cavalry Division to both Iraq and Afghanistan, where he witnessed the harsh realities of war up close. Those experiences left a lasting mark on him. In a 2021 interview with the Minnesota Star-Tribune, Bowling spoke openly about the emotional weight of his service. He explained that he dealt with death regularly, often in its most traumatic form. "I dealt with a lot of death and dying, the bad version of it," he said. That exposure would later shape the path he chose after leaving the military. After completing his service, Bowling transitioned into civilian life by pursuing a career in healthcare. He became a registered nurse in Minnesota, where he now works in hospice care, providing end-of-life support to fellow veterans. According to Bowling, hospice care felt different from anything he had experienced before. During his nursing training, he encountered hospice work for the first time and described it as something deeper than a job. It felt like a calling. He explained that the chance to help someone pass peacefully, rather than in pain or chaos, drew him in. Compared to what he had seen during combat, hospice care represented dignity, compassion, and closure. For Bowling, it was a way to